did that.
Entrepreneurs make shit happen. They visualize something and then they're like, wait a minute, I might, and Jenny knows about, something about this. And then they build a team and then they hire people. Like I'll be doing that till the day I die. And that for me is the most fun, is providing a solution for people, making friends with the team that you build that become family, and then serving people that have that problem that need to be solved. I love that.
Your sales software shouldn't be a bummer, and when you step inside your CRM, you should actually feel equipped to do your best work. It's kind of like being in the pilot seat, but having all the easy-to-use controls. Well, that's what HubSpot's doing with the new Sales Hub. It's all designed to have you win quarter over quarter, year over year, all the way from the intuitive prospecting workspace, using AI-powered tools. The point is to reduce your workflow, all the work on managing leads, the follow-ups, basically making closing deals a no big deal at all. So this is how you can wrangle your day-to-day tasks using a seamless platform that basically navigates all the contacts, calls, analytics, all in one spot. ChatSpot is also the AI-powered tool that helps you personalize a lot of things in your CRM. It's basically like little assistants working for you. You just got to prompt it, and basically it pulls up a contact, sums up different sales, or researches your competitors. It helps you automate a lot of things during the sales pipeline, so your team or yourself can take your time back. And the whole point is to make this easier and more effective for you. So this is the time for you to close more deals and get you on track for your best Q1 yet. Learn more about HubSpot Sales Hub over at hubspot.com/sales. What's happening? Today, we're talking all about video and how you can leverage video as a means to increase what you're doing in sales with engagement with your audience. If it's one-to-one or one-to-many, I got you covered. So I got a trailblazer, video marketing OG, Todd Hartley is joining us today. This guy has worked with legends like Justin Timberlake, Tony Robbins. He's on his stage like all the time. He's also helped big companies like 23andMe to leverage video to increase sales and engagement. And he's going to break it all down here. It's pretty wild. He's going to show how this is applied in the sales process and also how you can fast track learning and relationship building using video, all the way from one-to-one to one-to-many. It really doesn't matter. There's a lot of common stuff that we deal with, common challenges, and you're going to walk away knowing what to do. And you're also going to walk away with some gifts from Todd as well. So you got to stick around here. I think you're going to enjoy it. I know you are. Let's go get into it right now. So Todd, you've been involved in the video space for a long time. You've worked with some rock stars. I mean, some big companies, some big names, folks that I feel like everyone should probably know: Justin Timberlake, Tony Robbins, 23andMe, a slew more. Breast cancer site that you co-founded and got millions and millions of views, 14, 15 million, something like that. You tell me. I mean, some epic stuff, dude.
Well, I think video plays on another level, and it does visually and emotionally. I mean, the human brain, we process visual information 60,000 times faster than we do with text. So we develop deeper relationships, we transfer knowledge at another level, and the net result is you can move business metrics on a multiple using video more than any other type of content.
And that's the through line, it sounds like, with all of these. I mean, you're the go-to video guy for Tony Robbins. And I think you said something like, so I know he has these like beautiful video boards. Everything is very multimedia. I don't know. That's like an old term now, but it's just visual, everything, like you said. But you keep them engaged. It's not just like, hey, put video out there, but you have an engagement element. That's what I'm super curious about.
Yeah, I think part of it is tempo. Like with video in general, you need to create tempo and you need to use that to move people. So you'll notice when you're watching a video and you're into it, you start to get excited. The cuts are short. The music works with the cut. Now you're nodding and you're tapping your foot and you're going through the experience. And video just it's like being on the moving sidewalk in the airport. It just like moves you through the experience at a faster rate. And when you do that for people, you get them to the right emotional state where buying becomes a no-brainer. And, video is not a trend. And I got started in it in 2007. I was leading digital initiatives at iHeartRadio for 7 of their largest nationally syndicated talk shows. And inside the data at iHeart, I realized that video was getting 10 times the amount of engagement in 2007 than any of our shows.
Mm.
And our shows were audio back then, right? iHeartRadio, it was just all audio, but the people really also liked video at a multiple of 10. And so I just planted a flag in my head. I was watching all of my digital marketing guru friends, OGs back in the day, peel off and claim search and claim social and claim funnels. And I was like, yo, where's my territory? And right in front of my eyes, it was in the data where all the decisions are. So I just became the video guy and how you use video as a marketing tool to grow business.
Interesting. Yeah. And this takes me back. I used to call myself, and well, it was other people. You always get the nickname from others, but the video mofo. I would do a bunch of VSLs. That's how I broke into, like, I know a lot of the gurus you're talking about. Being in San Diego, I was right next door to a
Yeah.
lot of them. So it's kind of nice there. But that's how I cut my teeth in this whole thing, is video sales letters. And then that translated to presentations, webinars, all that fun stuff. So similar line, it sounds, but I know the feeling though.
Can we unpack the video sales letter and just
Please
briefly explain why this makes sense?
hit us. Yeah.
So there are 3 stats people should know, and they meet the 3 psychological needs that every buyer has. Anybody that's going through your sales letter or going on your website or you're meeting them face to face, they have 3 psychological needs. The first is they need clarity. They're like, I need clarity about what do you solve? How can you help me? Right. The second psychological need is they need certainty that you've done this before for people just like them.
Yeah.
This is where segmentation comes in. This is also where credibility and testimonials come in, and video does it better than anybody. And the third psychological need that people have is they need to collaborate with somebody else on a purchase. And as the purchase gets larger, more than like $50, we start having conversations with other people on our team, in our office, our business partner, our spouse, our clergymen, and we start talking to people about the deal. So when you have a VSL that has the clarity and the certainty and the ability to collaborate, now it becomes an opportunity for people to go through it. So why are they going through the videos at a higher rate, and what impact? 3 things. The video, that people are 4 times more likely to watch that video than to read the page.
Yeah.
They will transfer, they'll receive so much more of your knowledge. They'll get 95% of the knowledge transferred from a video, but only 10% when reading. Reading's inferior as a knowledge transfer tool. And then when it comes to conversion, when people watch your video, they're 85% more likely to buy. So we just, in 3 simple steps, accelerated them through the sales process.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that because the multimodal thing, they're capturing this emotion through images, maybe, it could be images or video. And then of course the auditory, you're kind of hitting on everything in one.
Yeah, exactly. So I was one of those kids in all the slow kid classes growing up.
Yep.
And the best educators, the ones that impacted students, and I've nerded out on this, are the educators that teach using the dual coding theory of education. They teach 2 ways, right? They teach verbally and visually. And it's why teachers would teach and then go up to the board and draw, or why great presenters on stage use their slides to support and teach, because the knowledge transfer is on a larger level, and you get that with video.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, all right. So that's VSLs, and they've evolved over, the time, let's call it 2007, because it was right around that time I was starting to cut my teeth. Maybe it was 09, right around there. So similar era. Tell me, are there any things that have changed? Obviously, technology has changed how these things are created, but those are the commonalities. What should we know that has maybe evolved since back then?
The first is how you get discovered, right? Which could be like webinars or ads or email or social media. It's all discovery. That's really zone 1. And you can use video in all of those. The second zone is your website. and using video on a VSL on your website and moving them through strategically. The third zone is how salespeople use video one-on-one
Mm.
to make their prospect have massive clarity and certainty in the ability to collaborate. And salespeople that know how to use video situationally close like 75% more deals
Definitely. Yeah.
because it's so easy to buy from them, right? Because they make learning super easy. And the fourth zone is how do you use video to sell to your low hanging fruit, your existing clients that already know, love, and trust you. And then the fifth zone is using video to educate your new hires and your staff. So they all preach the good gospel the same way. So you aren't
Yeah.
creating confusion in the marketplace. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, they can't scale their business because they don't know the fifth zone, which is how do they transfer the knowledge from their head and get other little minion versions of themselves out there selling the way they do. And that's training.
Trainings that and that's each one of these is a whole obviously masterclass in itself, you know, the discovery, the website, how that
Yes, bro.
applies there and all the way through. And something that comes up to mind, and this maybe hits on a couple of them, I'll just share something I do, and I'm curious if maybe a tactic or two that someone can kind of swipe here and you can kind of pick and choose. But I'm thinking of the sales, the one-to-one conversations, selling something, but also transferring knowledge. I love to use Loom videos and show my face,
Yes.
show my screen. Sometimes it's using my phone as like a personalized video, but and then plugging that into emails for the sales thing. And then like even with the thumbnail, it's animated. And this is obviously a tech tool. I've talked about it before, but I'm told so many times they're like, that's brilliant. I know you. Like I see you. It's just this trust is instantly bonded. And I mean, close deals all the way from $100 to $50,000 just using that kind of
Yeah.
selling tool, and it's amazing.
So I've been using tools like Loom and Vidyard for, I don't know, feels like a decade,
Yeah.
and been training companies in how to do that and their sales teams, and have just recently launched my own version of
Oh,
Loom and Vidyard that is it's got VSLs built in, like ClickFunnels, and
ooh,
you can email and text your videos to one person or a bulk list. You spy on their ass. You can track all of them, so it builds like a college football top 25 of your hottest leads and notifies you. And people are like, we went to the wall and built the cool tool. It's called Clarity
okay.
Video. And we're in final testing stages right now. And anybody that wanted to go to Clarity could get in and start using it. But it is a incredible way for people to organize the path to purchase and to win at another rate. Now, to give you a little backstory,
Please.
when you use a video tool as a one-on-one salesperson, you should be closing like 75% more deals. That's the companies that I train. That's what I end up seeing. When the companies get larger, like I trained at a live person, they're a AI juggernaut. I trained 74 of their salespeople, and within 90 days using the strategies, their revenue went up 31%, and they brought in $119 million in deals.
Wow.
But I see this regularly across Fortune 500 companies, but also solopreneurs and aggressive startups. So right before I came into this room, I was training a room full of solopreneurs how to use video in their one-to-one approach to their prospects to close more deals.
Mhm.
And you'll typically see, like in those trainings, there are people that are closing $10 million deals, dude, using video, like in
Yeah.
industries that never had video being used in the deals before, like super high end finance deals or in investment portfolios or people that are raising funds for a startup. Like
Mhm.
I probably, and this is the Tony Robbins blessing in my life, one of many that come from him. But because I teach this regularly for him on his stages, I've got a never ending list of case studies from people that are frigging crushing it using video in the sales process. And it's an undeniable tool.
Definitely check. I'm going to go jump on clarity.video. I did not even know that was a
Yeah.
thing. I love that it is a thing. I'll test it. I'll be your guinea pig, and hopefully others here will
I
be as well.
built it because I got tired of training people in the other tools, Joe,
Yeah.
and the tools were only got you like 50% of the way there, and you had to
Yeah.
build all this stuff on your own. So I just, as a fan of the space and a trailblazer, I was like, I could do better than the tool that I'm training people in.
Well, and you're coming with that sales mindset. It's with the mindset of exactly what you teach and preach
Yes.
every day, man. And I guess if we're thinking about a way to apply, you just like we just talked about some very, raising funds. You could do one-to-one sales and all that. Like, is there a specific use, like a go-to strategy? Let's call it using Clarity, or maybe someone can use it now with Loom, in their current workflow. But
Yes, of course. Uh, have you ever had anybody ghost you before?
never. Yeah.
Like you could solve the ghosting problem. I know. You could solve the ghosting problem with video. You could solve a no-show problem. Like most companies that I see have like a 35% no-show rate for first meetings. You
Yep.
can use video and make that prospect remember why they booked the meeting, get super excited, and decrease that no-show rate into single digits. You could handle objections, like when somebody pushes back, and create a video that wins them back over and teaches them. You could submit proposal videos that educate all the different people. Remember the collaboration part. You got to collaborate. It's one of the psychological needs. So if you
Yep.
create a proposal video and you've got the scripting templates and you understand it, you could put your proposal up on the screen and coach everybody in that decision-making team through the proposal. And I had a $2 billion company do this with 200 salespeople, and they had their highest revenue in 14 years. So it's like, once the prospect experiences massive freaking clarity, they look at the people you're competing against and they're like, there's only one option here. It's the company that went a little bit above and beyond to make sure that we understood what we were buying.
That's it, man. Because that's what everybody wants to feel like, what's going on in their heads, their issues, all the struggles, but also the vision of where they want to get to. And exactly what you
Right.
said. I mean, there's scripts and it's not rocket science. It's apply it a little slightly differently to anyone. But with the tool like this, you're transferring knowledge as well, which is now sounds exponential.
Video has that way. You will not be in most cases for your entire career, you've not been in the decision maker room when they're evaluating your solution or when they're comparing your solution against a competitor.
Mm.
But you shouldn't tolerate it. Like Tony Robbins always pins his audience down and says, you know what, you in life, you get what you friggin' tolerate.
Mm.
You get what you tolerate. So if you tolerate yourself not being in the decision-making room, you deserve not to get the deal. But if you create a video for the decision makers and you send it to them via email or text, you will not only get into the room, but video's 3 times more likely to be shared.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to influence, and all those people that you haven't met, that the CFO, the COO that you haven't met yet in the sales process, they'll all see it and they'll have massive freaking clarity and they'll check off from their department. And now your deal will flow through. It's like, how do we own the path to yes all the
Yeah.
way?
Hey, I just want to pause this episode really fast and shout out a podcast that's also on the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. This one's a podcast that's hosted by someone I've followed for years. His name is Donald Miller. He has the whole Story brand book and all the different stuff online. He hosts the podcast called Business Made Simple. The premise is to basically take the mystery out of growing your business. And he recently had on, one of the other guys I follow is Alex Hermosi. And right at the beginning of the year, they're talking about facing uncertainty in your business. And Alex and Donald, they talk about different ways, 4 different ways to basically shore up your business to ride the uncertain times that inherently are the ones we're living in 2024. So make sure to go check that out. Go listen to Business Made Simple, that episode with Alex Hermosi, but also the other ones wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, I want to tell you about an all-in-one marketing platform that's been a game changer for a bunch of businesses. It's called Kartra, and it's the all-in-one tool that you need to grow. So the point is, you don't need to pay for a whole bunch of different subscriptions because Kartra does it all. So what makes Kartra different is that you can automate everything. Everything from delivering your online courses, sending targeted emails, selling products, and even handling your customer support. So all in all, it's saving you time and a bunch of money. And right now, you can try it out for 30 days. Just head over to hustleandflowchart.com/Kartra and go get that free trial. Again, that is hustleandflowchart.com/KARTRA. You're collaborating too. And I'm just thinking of, as this video gets shared around, that's that third point of yours, collaborate on that purchase. It's like,
Yes.
shit. I mean, so many emails. If you're just sticking with text, and this is where a lot of people land, even if you're pitching my podcast, I mean, little hint, send a damn Loom video or something personalized that shows you're human and that you're actually, you're speaking to that person and not, copy paste or AI generated stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
What you're really referencing is when we're going through the buying process and we're evaluating a company that we're considering hiring, we have a need as a buyer to feel significant within that organization.
Mm.
We want to know that we're not just another name on their NASCAR slide of logos, and we're not going to get lost. So when you demonstrate on the front end of the relationship before the deal has been signed that you're sending them a video instantly in their head, they're feeling a higher perceived value because video has a higher value because it takes longer. It's, it's more complicated, but the person who receives it feels massively significant within your organization.
Yes.
Like they got a friend that's out there fighting for them, and you need to demonstrate that in the sales process. And when you do, you're going to win a lot more deals.
Yeah, you are. And it's that extra inch or mile in this case, but really it doesn't feel like the effort's not the mile. It's not the same, but to the perception on the other side, like, holy crap, Todd just crushed it. He showed up completely different. He's in this 1% crew, maybe even 0.5%. Yeah.
We're playing at another level, and you got to demonstrate that. Because if you demonstrate that on the front end of the deal, before the deal has been signed, you're really demonstrating what your client support is going to be like after they sign.
First impression, right? It's everything.
Yeah, first impression. And I don't know about you, but I'm only going to hire people that, one, make me feel massively significant within their organization, go way above and beyond to make sure that I have massive clarity and the ability to turn to my CFO and my COO and give them an asset that they can look at. So when we meet up on Zoom or in person, we're all like, oh yeah, we want to hire Joe. I mean, Joe answered all those questions and made it easy for us. You just want to hire somebody that's the safe bet, and the safe bet gives you clarity and certainty and the ability to collaborate.
All right. There's so much here, man. So that's great. I'm sure you listening, watching, you're noodling. Go test that stuff out. And again, I'm just gonna be your parrot and shout out clarity.video again for the hell of it. I'm not making anything from it. So Todd, I'm curious because we talked a lot of tactical stuff. It's that I was telling you the hustle side of things, business, and that's great and all. Now, what do we do with all this lead flow, all these people that want us? And I want to talk to you, but also maybe wrap in some of the stuff you've learned from being on Tony Robbins' stage of like, what's the flow chart, the being side? What keeps you in the game from not going bonkers, burning out, in your business and actually continuing to show up best for everybody?
I am probably, in the interest of full disclosure, and all you're really going to ever get from me is candor. I am probably more burned out right now than I have been in a decade. Okay. We had my wife and I, two parents pass away in the last 32 days. Damn. Right. Haven't seen my wife in 3 weeks. And we went from one funeral to her flying across the country, and I was supposed to go join her, but I got sick. How do I handle burnout? When I get time with my wife and recovery, and tomorrow we're going to be reuniting And I can't wait for that.
Good.
But I also handle burnout because I've got an incredible amount of passion for serving people. And I think professionals need to cultivate a level of passion in their life. And so there's multiple ways that I develop passion. One is I have to help people win.
Mm.
And I have to surround myself with winners. Winners inspire me at every level. And if somebody doesn't have a winning spirit, or they don't show up at work wanting to win and serve people and help them achieve their breakthrough, then I can't have them on my team, because they'll take that from that passion. The other thing is I live up in the mountains in Scottsdale, Arizona. I hike every day, and being out in nature fills my passion. And the final thing is learning. Learning allows me to continue to fill my well and feel passionate, because I'm adding more value into my brain so I could add more value into people's lives. And those things are really important. And when I slip on any of them, the wheels on the bus all come off.
Yeah, they don't go round and round. I sing that song all the time to my
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah, bro.
So, yeah, man. First of all, my condolences. And I'm going to be real. It was 60 days ago I lost my father-in-law, and it was only a few years before that lost my dad. So I know the feeling of that. It's shitty. And
it's
yeah,
shitty, bro. You're just trying to
just
catch your
don't be real.
breath. And I hope for you that your father-in-law had as big enough impact on your life as my mother-in-law, because I couldn't have been more lucky.
Yeah, man. 100% he did. And I'm happy she did as well. And what better way? And I love the fact that you mentioned, winners. And I think of impact. It's like, what are we going to do with our time here, as we're all driven people? Like if you're listening to this podcast, you're driven. Doesn't matter what the hell you're doing. Even if you're still in a job, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. You're driven because you're learning. So what is that impact, that expression you could put out there and surround and collaborate to do more, and not just kind of sit back and not take control?
If you feel like you haven't reached your breakthrough and transformation in your life, and maybe you've been hustling, but it just hasn't happened yet, please know that I've had those moments, and I've had those years. And my wife, the first time I reached out to speak for Tony, um, it took me 4 years of rejection. Okay.
Yeah.
And I bring this up. It's not poor me. I like winners, bro. But winners have to be willing to stay in the friggin' game. And the first time I got a no, I went home to my wife, and I couldn't even voice it out loud. Like, there was no air in my lungs to say it to her. I was so devastated. And my wife said, let me get this straight. And I bring this up for all of you that are in the hunt for greatness, because if you're chasing greatness, it is a process. It isn't you just appear. It is a process, and you have to honor the process, because your life work isn't done yet, and it changes like this. So to give you the example, I went to my wife and I was like, yeah, he said no. And I could barely voice it. And she said, let me get this straight. Did he say no or not yet? I said, oh, it felt like a no. And as a kid who grew up learning from him, it was devastating. And she said, no, I didn't ask you what it felt like. I asked you if he said no or not yet, bro, because they're different. And if I can figure out if he said no or not yet, we can strategize based on what really happened, not what it felt like. I said, okay, well, it was a not yet. And she was awesome. Yeah. That dude has no problem saying no to speakers. Do you realize he probably says no to 1,000 speakers a year, and you got a not yet? You're still in the game. And I was like, yeah, my shoulders went back a little bit. I'm like, I'm still in the game. And she said, let me ask you this question. Has your value, your information peaked? And I said, no, I mean, I'm sure I've got more value. She goes, can you take your value up another level? Is there another level inside you? And I said, yeah, I think there's another level. She said, where your information could be so valuable, is there another level? I said, yes. And she said, let me understand. You can take your information up so valuable. Is there another level where he can't ignore you anymore?
Ooh.
And I said, I think I could do that. She goes, well, get to work. You're still in the game and don't quit before the miracle. Let's
Damn right.
go. So you know what I did? I hung in there for 4 years and I knocked on the door
Yeah.
and I served, bro. Like I just, I served at every possible level. If Tony had an event that was going on, I jumped into the Facebook group and I started adding videos where I was helping people that are going through the event right now to have the ultimate breakthrough and transformation. I post that in there into the Facebook group and I did it for free. I actually did it out of the kindness of my heart because I wanted people to win. You first have to want people to win
Mm.
before you have to want it for yourself. Like you have to be the shepherd that's
Yeah.
going to help people win and achieve their outcomes. So I just kept doing that. And then I started offering to train his teams in my strategies to use video in the sales process. And you know what happened? COVID happened. And when
Mhm.
we all got locked down, I got really fucking sexy because I was the one teaching how to use the power of video in your sales process to sell remotely or in person. And now his whole sales staff was remote. So 4 years, I got a notification, a call from him that was like, can you train my sales teams how to use your strategies? And dude, my whole office, everybody was locked down at home. I
Yeah.
was the only one there in a stunning Scottsdale marketing agency. And I was just going there because somebody had to use the lease.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there in this empty, vacant office, and I get this life-changing call at 11 o'clock on a Thursday. And I just sat in that room for the rest of the day and whimpered like a little fucking baby. I
Hell
was
yeah.
so happy because I stayed in the game. And instead of getting offended, I doubled down and just gave from my heart altruistically. And when you do that, the universe steps in to help. The question
Mhm.
is for everybody that has this like burning desire to do more and to serve more, are you willing to take your material up another level and not feel like you're giving it all away? Because if you work with an abundant heart,
Yep.
amazing things happen and people beat down your door, people that you followed your whole life that you could never get to say yes, but you got to come from a position of abundance.
That's right. Abundance, it starts inside. It's that I mean, we create our reality. Let's be honest. We put ourselves in the situations. We don't know how that reality is going to shape up. I call it kind of like a blended reality. You might have a vision and you ain't going to control the external factors. You might not
Right.
control the timing, but you sure as hell can't get there unless you choose. And you start with that abundance and that openness.
Yes, bro. And you have to be willing to put yourself out there if you want to get discovered out there. There are like all these people that are intimidated or scared or frustrated or don't know what to say, but in their head, they visualize themselves doing something incredible.
Yeah.
And so they log jam the process when what they really should do is get out there and just start serving people.
Todd, this is incredible. I know we talked about so many different ways to serve with video, personalized, even at scale, however you want to choose it. You can rewind and hear all the 5 different ways and use the tools out there, whatever it is that's needed. What you got?
Can I give everybody a gift? Would that
Beautiful.
be
Yeah,
okay?
please.
Like I wrote a #1 bestseller on how to accelerate people through your sales process
I love it. Let's do it.
across the 5 zones: getting discovered, your website, your sales process, your existing clientele, and then how to train your staff. I'd be willing to give everybody free access to accelerating yes in your audience. And all you have to do is go to toddhartley.com/hustle. But
Sweet.
better hustle your ass over there because I'm not going to leave that link up for too long, and because it's a bestseller. There's no reason for me to give it away, but I want to gift you guys so you can start making transformation happen in your business.
toddhartley.com/hustle. I'll put it in the show notes description. It'll be linked up, but go quick. It won't be there for long. I love that. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate that, man. And I guess lastly, I'm curious, and I know it's a tough time right now for you, but you do have that burning that the burning's just going to grow even more. Let's be honest. The stuff inside,
Yeah.
that's the beautiful piece of this whole time in your life right now.
Yeah.
Now I can speak from experience. So,
Yeah,
um,
brother.
what excites you? Like, is there something you're studying right now or something that you want to share that's just like, it's like making you kind of giddy on the inside that's just, yeah, it's lighting you up.
Well, I want to see, and I hope people feel this about themselves, what the full manifestation of this opportunity is going to look like. Like,
Mm,
what is my life going to look like? What is my wife and our vacations going to look like? And what is the people that I'm going to impact going to look like when I continue to learn and educate and then share that with people? Because we all ultimately decide when we've peaked. I mean, think about your friends that were like the hottest ones in high school that don't show up at the reunions. They peak too early and you know it. And so I want to see what my life's going to be like when I continue to play full out on a daily basis and learn and bless people with that information, because that to me is like, comfort's the enemy of growth.
yeah.
I want to keep growing. So I got to keep learning. And that lights me up on another level because it allows me to see where the trends are and then be hungry enough to provide and show that to other people. And so, of course, AI, wah, wah, everybody's
Yeah.
excited about it. I'm excited about it too. I'm really excited about how we use video to shorten sales processes or make them less complex or ultimately to get people to buy. Like there's a lot of all I am is cultivated passion.
Yeah. I can
So,
tell.
um, that all excites me tremendously.
I love it. Yeah, and the fire is burning, and I love the fact that, yeah, we could do this till the day we all die, and we make the choice of how we show up. And what's the other
Yeah.
option? You want to go just sit and be couch locked or something, and just have
Yeah.
this spinning thought in your brain, like I could do that. What if I did that?
Entrepreneurs make shit happen. They visualize something
Uh huh.
and then they're like, wait a minute, I might, and Jenny knows about something about this. And then they build a team and then they hire people like I'll be doing that till the day I die.
Of course.
And that for me is, I'm just opening my third business. That for me is the most fun, is providing a solution for people, making friends with the team that you build that become family, and
Yeah.
then serving people that have that problem that need to be solved. I love that.
Mm. Yeah, man. And it keeps compounding. All right, Todd, you're incredible. I'm happy we met.
Thank you.
This is the first time we met. I hope we'll do it again in person or on here, man. I appreciate you so much. ToddHartley.com/hustle. Go get it. And then also clarity.video are the two pieces. That's your homework now, folks. So appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much.